This week on the Reseller Locker Room, we're fresh back from the 127 sale in Crossville, Tennessee. Chris is suffering from culture shock. Alex got a speeding ticket on the way to the 127. And Shane has the best find of the 127 sale. And I picked a funeral home. It's that time, ladies and gentlemen. We are so happy to be back with you here at the Reseller Locker Room podcast. My name is Ben, the Rocky Top Picker, and joining me as always, up above, the handyman extraordinaire, Chris Easy Pickens, followed by Alex, the Beard King Picker, and over here, or which direction, I can always get confused, Shane from Soda City Flips, and this is the Locker Room. Welcome back to the cameras, gentlemen.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on?
I'll tell you what, man, we had so much fun, but it feels good to be back in the locker room, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Everybody's home, listing like crazy, getting sales, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Listing. I don't know about listing like crazy.
Yeah, I've listed 15 things since we've been back.
I've been listing like crazy. Obviously listing everything. I haven't listed everything from the 127 yet, but I'm listing everything from the 127. Plus, Evan McFlipperson and I went sourcing together at yard sales last weekend, so listing all that stuff as well. And I got to tell you guys, last week was the single best sales week I've ever had.
Yep.
Since I started reselling. Yeah, today's payout was beautiful.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's awesome.
Feels good.
Plus, Tom Selleck's mustache is here.
That's right. Open up the picture of him laying down there. Let's show everybody.
Everybody will like this one.
Yeah. There's your pin up right there. Look at that.
There you go.
Wow.
Look at that leg. Look at that leg here. Look at them thighs.
Look at that pant bulge.
Ready. We're gonna pull up the Playgirl edition next.
We just got about 300 new female subscribers.
There you go. Well, most of them are female, by the way. I think it was the last analytic I looked at. I don't know, but all right. Let's go back to what I meant when I introduced you fellas at the top of the show. Is Chris is from California, in case you viewers are not aware of where he's from, and he made it to the good old hills of Tennessee. So, Chris, what were some of the things that kind of struck you by being in Tennessee?
Well, first of all, it's a beautiful countryside. I mean, visually, man, it's pretty. May I use the word breathtaking? It's pretty awesome, dude. I got some crazy shots, man. We were out picking at some of those yard sales off the beaten path, and just rolling hills, trees. I mean, it was a lot to look at. It was pretty cool, pretty refreshing seeing all that, you know. Yeah, compared to what I see around here.
What about
culture-wise, you know? Huh?
What about the prices on stuff?
Oh yeah, well, the beer was more expensive. So I didn't like that part. At least
really,
yeah. But the food, shoot, what? We all went out to eat. There was like what, 6 or 8 of us, 6 of us. It was like $200. So we all ordered steak and potato. It was crazy. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah, the prices were cheap for the most part. You know, the weather, it wasn't as hot as I expected, but it was still pretty damn hot.
It was a hot
the
week.
humidity was up.
But you know, like I think I mentioned this on one of my videos. Yeah, on my haul video, the people were so nice, man. It was almost too nice. Like we go to sales and we start talking, you know, small talk. We used to do a little small talk, man. These people want to like go into life stories and stuff, you know. They start talking about where I'm living and why I'm doing this and why don't you move out here? I'm like, man, I just met you guys. It was sometimes to get out of there and not feel like you're being rude, you know, because it's like, man, we're on a mission. We're trying to go to the next sale.
I kind of made an observation after the fact, Chris, after we got home, each of us got home, and I was just thinking and reflecting. Now, Alex and Shane, you tell me if your opinion's any different. But when we all went picking, which we did most every day, I never heard Chris say one time, I'll circle back. I didn't hear him say that at all.
I didn't hear it, but I saw it in his video a couple times.
Video.
In the 10 cities, I used it.
Yeah.
We were all kind of spread out there.
Yeah, that's true.
my picking video, I think I said I'll circle back like at least 5 times, but you know.
I was waiting to capture it on camera, but I don't recall you ever saying it when I was around.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, I use it the most. It seems like I use it at swap meets, man, because it's like, you know, if something's too high, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll circle back. I try to get them to lower the price, you know, but that usually doesn't work.
All right, Alex, won't you share that story of that speeding ticket for those viewers that are not aware?
Well, I got a speeding ticket, 40 miles out from Crossville, Tennessee. 87 in a 70 mile, I guess it was 70. I don't pay attention to speed limits, obviously. But even the sheriff said he understood that I was trying to pass a semi, so I was going faster to get around him because I don't like being stuck with a semi outside of me, right? Yeah. And the only reason he said he was giving me the ticket because it was raining and I was going that fast. So apparently if it was dry and not wet roads, he would have probably let me off. I don't know.
You didn't do 90 in the rain.
Huh?
You were doing 90 in the rain is what you're telling us.
Sure. It's like the humidity, you know, it's only 100, but it feels like 120 because of humidity. I guess it's the same with speeding index in the rain.
Well,
I thought you made it.
Yeah. I thought you would tell him the truth, the officer the truth, Alex. You were just in a hurry to get to the house to meet us.
I think that was before Buc-ee's, so I was in a hurry to get to Buc-ee's.
To get the Buc-ee's. To get that what did you end up getting? A barbecue sandwich, or was it
brisket? The extra large brisket sandwich, which is really good.
By the way, that stuff's good. But when my brother-in-law Rodney and I were headed up to the Kentucky Derby earlier this year, we both got a brisket sandwich from the same. Well, no, it was the Sevierville Buc-ee's. And we'd never seen these extra large ones before. We've always, you know, seen the regular ones that were like $6.99. So we both grab one, get up to the register and pay. And of course I had other stuff. Every time I go to Buc-ee's, I bring my wife and stepdaughter stuff, like new t-shirts and things like that. So, but I noticed the sandwich rang up $13 and I was like, what the heck happened? Large. Like, yeah. And when we got in the truck, both of us went to open them up and saw that it said extra large on it. And I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. And it was just as good. And, you know, it's worth it. You know, it's not like you're eating there every day.
Yeah. I went to Buc-ee's and got 2 sandwiches and a tumbler. I realized I hadn't eaten all day. It was like noon. I'm like, oh, there's Buc-ee's. Let's go check it out. You know, let's go check it out. I pull in. I'm like, holy crap. I wasn't expecting this. It's like a 50 pumps. It's like the size of a Walmart. I'm like, what in the world? So I ran in there real quick, which I was actually able to get in and out pretty quick, surprisingly. But anyway, go grab 2 sandwiches and a tumbler, and it was like $28. Like, what in the world? Each sandwich was like $8, dude. I got the pulled pork sandwiches. They were good, but little high priced.
Yeah, you pay for it, but I mean, their employees, like just the simplest job there pays like $20 an hour, dude. So
yeah, they make very good.
They all acted like they cared.
Yeah, in the bathrooms, I mean, you could probably eat off those floors in there. There's even someone directing you which urinal to go to.
Yeah, somebody was telling me a story that they went in there and they lost their keys in the bathroom, and they didn't realize it until they left, and then they came back in and talked to the cashier, and then within 5 minutes they located their keys. I think that was good. I think it was Goodwater Pickers. I'm not sure, but somebody that we met down there. I'm pretty sure that's what. I think Andrew was telling me
Buc-ee's, though. I had promised Mary McQueen that we would all go to Buc-ee's with her, and I completely dropped the ball on that. So, Mary, I apologize. Next year, we will make it happen.
Yeah, we made up for it, dude. She partied hard at the locker room house with us, so man.
Mary could hang, dude. Yeah, ain't no joke. Actually, everybody we were partying with could hang. I was surprised, man. No, nobody dropped out early. Nobody passed out because they're whatever. Everybody made it late.
Chris Moose passed out.
Yeah, at 6 o'clock in the friggin' morning after I screamed at him.
Okay. Well, in the opening, we've covered Chris, we've covered Alex, but me and Shane, we're going to circle back around a little bit later in the program and tell our little stories of that opening. But what I want to talk about, we lost Alex. He just farted out of here. We want to get into the Thursday night bowling event, was that fun or what, guys?
It was a blast.
It
man.
was. It was. I'm looking forward to doing that every single year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Chris, that video you put together was killer, man. I loved it.
Yeah,
I was just glad I had some footage we could use, man. I was all worried about the copyright strikes and everything else, because the music was blaring the whole time in there. But I was able to pull it together, put some stuff together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, you want to go ahead and make plans. The Highway 127 is always the first weekend in August. So you might as well put it on your calendar. If you work full time, if you have time off for next year, which I suspect you will, go ahead and mark those dates down to be there when we're back in town, and come bowling with us next year. I mean, my gosh. Everybody had a great time. I couldn't bowl. I pulled my back muscles and I didn't want to aggravate it. I wanted to, but everybody that signed up showed up and we had a great time.
Such a good time.
And the facility was nice, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It was. But while we're talking about it, they changed the dates on the 127 for next year.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys, I think we're all in that group on Facebook. But they had posted next year is August 7th through the 10th.
So basically a week later.
Yep.
Sounds
August 7th through the 10th, 2025.
Let's see here. That would be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of August 2025.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this year was what, the second, third, fourth? So a week
well,
later.
I was kind of stalling for Alex to get back, but I don't know. His internet lately has been crapping out a lot.
He'll be back.
But yeah, it was a nice bowling facility. Music was pumping. They had a great restaurant and a bar. I mean, nice
the beer
outdoor.
was cheap in there.
Yeah.
Beer was
Nice.
cheap in there.
Yeah.
A
Yeah, the
covered
bowling alley-
outdoor patio area to smoke and all that. Yeah.
The beers were like, I was drinking Stella and it was like $3 a beer. And if you put it in perspective, if I go somewhere out here and get a beer at the bar or whatever, I mean, you're looking at $5 to $8 a piece. So I was welcoming those $3 beers.
I don't remember how many I had, but I had quite a few. And my tab was less than $25.
Yeah, man.
Like, wow.
I was going to buy them 3 at a time. Who wants a beer?
Yeah. We'll definitely book that facility for next year. And if you guys are up to it, I'll book the same Airbnb because I loved that house.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we woke up to deer in the yard every day. Like,
Dude,
it was amazing.
I almost hit a deer on the way home. And I stayed at what was that Friday night, that Saturday morning when I went home at 6:30 in the morning, whatever it was. I almost hit a freaking deer one street over from the Airbnb, dude. I was driving, look at the phone, navigation, look up, it's a deer. Like, man, kidding me?
Right.
Hit a deer on a side street.
Alex had to move upstairs, but his mic is muted. Muted.
Yeah, he looks super
muted.
confused. This is the carry of the locker room.
Yeah.
But way better looking, Alex.
Just write everything on a piece of paper because we can't hear you. Oh, well. Well, we can say what we want. We can say what we want about him because he can't say nothing back. So go for it, guys. Come on, dude. Fix your mic, man. Dang.
I just tried to unmute him, and it says can't unmute guest because they chose to mute themselves.
There
you
go.
Pause the show. Cut all this out.
This is Alex's first time on a podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's cut my freaking basement. The internet doesn't want to work at all today, and I didn't want to deal with signing in every 5 seconds. So I'm on the second floor now.
Alex, when you farted out of the room, we were discussing how great the bowling night was. Let's hear your thoughts on bowling night.
I played the best game of my life. I rolled one ball, and I got a gutter ball.
My shot.
You're welcome. I ruined Chris's perfect game.
Yeah. There was no run in my game. I think all 3 of my games were under 110, but above 100.
Yeah, Mary's son Joe was killing it, man. He beat everybody every single game.
Yep. He didn't hit 300. That was his goal, but he got close.
It was fun.
Yeah.
What did he blow? I didn't even pay attention. I just know that he had the best games. I didn't.
He was in the 200s every game.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
I believe he may have missed 200 once or twice. Well, what did we play? 3 games.
3.
Yeah. So I think he at least 2 out of the 3 he was over 200.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun though. I'd like to do that every year, make it an annual thing. Even if for some reason the 127 meetup doesn't happen and we decide to go, I still want to do that if people are coming. And if that meetup doesn't happen and we choose to go to a different meetup, something like that. If we go to Vegas or something for another meetup, we can do the same thing out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was just fun. I think people the people that came with us enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it too.
Let's talk about the picking trips. What we did the first part of the week, guys. First of all, me, Shane, and Alex got in on Monday. And towards the tent cities were already up and selling, and Chris joined us. It was about 8:30, 9 o'clock Tuesday night out at Caleb's house.
Yep, about 8 o'clock.
And then we all went out, I believe, the next day, if memory serves correct. And where do you think you found your best deals, guys? Was it in the tent cities? I mean, did you find some deals in the tent city, or did you find it all chasing signs? I mean, tell us about it.
The first day I picked up those 2 books, they sell for $200 each, and I paid $30 for 2 books. They resell for around $30. So I think that's the only books I got that day. And then maybe I found I got that John Deere hat, but that was it.
Were those blue books that you bought?
Yeah, the blue book. Yeah. The little farming books, I think they are.
You picked those up on Wednesday. It was on Wednesday when we did that big tent sale.
Yeah.
Well, at least you made it in my video that I made from Wednesday with those books. So
was that on Wednesday? I thought that was the first day. Okay.
No, because Tuesday it was just me, you, and Ben. That was the day you hit that one book guy up. The guy I called you and said, "Hey, come over here. He's got a bunch of
okay." So yeah, I picked up 2 Eastern presses there for $15. They sell for like $45, but more than I wanted to pay per book. But that guy would not go down on his price. He was set on the $15 for the leather bound books. So
is that the dude that had the jacket?
Yep, that was the first day. So your jacket, he had that. Well, he had the other the Eastern Press that Shane found was $100 book, but he wanted $50 for it.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful book too, man. Like that thing was gorgeous.
The vendors at the tent cities, man, tough, dude. Like they don't want to come down on no prices. I mean,
yeah, and especially the first few days, like I could see them coming down on prices, say Saturday, Sunday, because they don't want to pack everything up. But early in the week, you're not going to get any deals, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the difference probably between the guys that are running the tent cities and the yard sale, they actually know what they have, and they know the value of it. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, now Jason Luck's Garage, he was able to find some stuff. We actually hit the same tent city that he was telling us about, but they had a dollar table. He had already gone through and got everything off of it that was worth anything by the time we had gotten there. But he was telling me he got a ton of good stuff off that dollar table. But we missed it.
He's one hell of a picker, I'll tell you that. I picked right next to him for like 2 or 3 days straight, man. And lots of respect for that guy and his picking skills.
Yeah.
So first couple of days we were all in and out of tent cities, and last year was different, fellas. I believe I've already told you all this. Last year I found my best deals were found there, and I hardly didn't find anything like I found last year. Of course, it's different from year to year, but as we got later into the week, we went chasing signs. And for those of you that don't know the term, we were chasing yard sale signs. And Shane, you must tell the roundabout story that we went on chasing a yard sale sign. Do you remember what we're talking about?
Yeah, so we
did this.
Yeah,
house,
we went to this yard sale. We found a sign, and we'd hit a bunch of yard sales this particular day. We found this sign, and you turn up this long mountain road straight up the side of the mountain, then you turn left and keep following this mountain, and you end up at this lady's house. And we didn't even find much there. I bought 2 action figures. One was a Batman. One was I think we settled on Big Show, but nobody really.
Well, you found it. You found it listed. It was Big Show. What it said.
Yeah, that's right.
Busted face Big Show.
Yeah,
and I think Mike Camparelli found 1 or 2 things there too, including maybe a digital camera, if I remember correctly. Not a whole lot going on at that sale. Probably wasn't worth us wasting our time driving to it. So we leave, we go out, we get back to the 127, hang a right, and we're chasing signs. And we see another sign. We turn right up this mountain road, and I'm talking mountain road, long, windy,
one way,
sketchy, narrow, like one way. We had to almost go in a ditch to let other cars go by. It was sketchy, man. It was banjo music playing. You know what I'm saying? You got a pretty mouth, boy. That kind of vibes going on. Yeah, exactly. We're chasing this sign for what feels like miles, and you're not really turning around. Once you're started, you got to finish it out.
You're committed.
We ended up at the same stupid house we had just left.
Circle. We circled back, Chris.
Giant windy circle for a yard sale that was not worth it to begin with. But lady, 1 sign. Don't put 1 here and 1 here. You're confusing. You're just pissing everybody off. But I mean, especially the ones coming. The second sign we found, that was the long roundabout way to get to her house. Yeah, so we wasted a lot of time on that. I'd say at least in half an hour trying to get, from leaving her house and driving all the way around back to it. Probably took a half an hour.
Yeah, for the record, I wasn't with them on that one.
Yeah, Chris, you was with Woody and Barb, I believe.
Yeah.
And Shane suggested after we came off of that debacle, he says, "You know what we need to do? We need to text Chris and tell him to look for this sign and send him on and go hit the next one on down."
That's right.
Make him do the same thing.
That's messed
yeah.
up.
I was like, dude, we gotta tell Chris, make sure you hit this sale, and then when you leave there, the next sign also.
And, gee, thanks, Shane.
I didn't have the heart to do it to you, man.
We probably didn't have a good enough signal. That was one thing about picking out there is you got to use your instinct and your knowledge, because you probably ain't going to be able to look something up, man. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't even try it for a while. I'm just like, well, I just got to go with what I know.
Yeah.
I did pretty good, but that was one thing. You ain't looking much up.
Sales service.
Even in town, it was hard to get service, and I have Verizon, and they're one of the top ones in the nation. That's what I've done my entire career is cell tower stuff. Verizon's probably the best. They're the most expensive, which is a pain in the ass, but I couldn't get service. T-Mobile didn't have service out there worth the crap. I don't remember if any of you guys had AT&T.
I do,
but I know
I had AT&T.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the 3 big names, right, in wireless, and none of us could get service half the time we were there.
Nope.
So that was the only downfall. Like you said, you kind of had to be on your game and know what you were doing, and or get lucky if you didn't know what you were, picking. You had to take some chances sometimes.
Educated buys.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool with at least Amazon Books. For me, I have that program where I actually download the whole database of Amazon Books.
Oh, wow.
So I wasn't, I could still look up Amazon Books for the most part. It'd be cool if there was an app that did that on eBay of just all the sold comps, where you could download something like that.
That would be sweet.
eBay, step up your game.
Yeah, what the heck, man?
Yeah. All right. Let's fast forward. We've covered the picking. We've covered the bowling night. Let's now talk about the meeting on the picking on the plateau event. Impressions of that event.
Well, the venue was pretty awesome. It was held at like a shooting range, so we had like a community room or whatever you want to call it, or banquet room or whatever at this shooting range. And it was nice, man. I mean, one heck of a venue. I thought it was great. I wish we would have had a little thing set up where we go skeet shooting before the party, you know, or the meetup, I should say.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
But yeah, the venue, I liked it a lot, man. I thought it was a great choice.
Yeah, it was fun. It was cool. The property itself was like back in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and it was wide open. Like that place was huge, but the venue portion of it inside the building was super nice, and nice and wide open in there as well. Even with all the tables and the food and the stage area where we all sat and talked and did the auction and stuff, it was still a ton of room left over and didn't feel crowded or anything like that. It was good.
I felt like I was part of the wedding party. How they had it set up, like we were the head table, so I felt like the wedding party, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of did have that feel. How about those air conditioner tubes or whatever, man?
Oh yeah.
Every time they went full of air, it made this whoop, and I like peed in my pants. It scared me.
Yeah, like the air conditioning system is like those big
wind
things
sock.
outside of the freaking
Wind sock.
What do you call those? It was like those, but they carried the AC all across the ceiling in like 3 different tubes. So every time the AC would kick on, it'd be this huge noise, and those things would inflate, man. Everybody would be like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it looked like a big freaking bubble rolling through that thing, you know, every time.
Every time I thought there was like a rodent up in there or something.
That's what I thought it was.
That's how it sounded at first.
A very large rodent, because those freaking things were this big around.
You know, Caleb and his entire family, Josh, his wife, put so much time and effort into cooking food, getting that place prepped. You know, when we all got there, we were in charge of loading up all the swag bags. Yep. So we filled up everybody's swag bags with different goodies. And then, of course, we moved on into the program after we ate. How about that food, man? Have you ever seen a spread like that?
That was a lot of food.
Them chicken and dumplings, man.
Yeah, those are good.
Everything was on point. I'll say that.
If you left hungry, it's your fault, because there was plenty.
For sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because once you get a grasp on all the food, then then there's still all the dessert, man, and it looks so good you can't not get any, you know. So
you get a little bit of everything.
Absolutely.
What I thought was really fun, guys, was the auction.
Yeah.
I mean, how about those items that we had to auction off for the charities?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
I had no idea that the golf club was like as seen on TV golf club. That's funny.
But it's like a $40 club, I think.
Yeah, I was trying to bid it up, and then people stopped bidding against it. Like, oh man, I don't want the golf club. I'm flying back. Yeah. So then I put it back into the auction, and it brought over twice as much as what I paid when I bought it at the auction.
Well, we had a table full. I mean, that table was full, right, guys? I mean, there's a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Then we had a lot of great giveaways that we did, and raised. I don't forgot what the final count was. It 1,000 or 1,400? Something.
Well, it was 850, and then Caleb's wife bumped it up to 1,000, and then I can't remember who else it was. I think they donated another 500, I believe, so it made it 1,500. That's the last count that I heard, and I mean,
that's amazing.
For our turnout, what do we have? You know, there's probably 35 people there. And total with all of us, something like
roughly.
That. And,
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty darn good. I thought, I mean,
you know what's great? I think about that turnout number is that it was intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can go to bigger rallies where there's hundreds of people, but you kind of get lost in the shuffle. But to have a smaller crowd, it makes it more personable and more intimate. That was just my observation.
Oh yeah. If it would have been, on a bigger scale, I mean, I wouldn't be able to go around and talk to every person at every table, on mic, and everybody's take on everything. I mean, that was pretty cool. I like that part a lot.
Yeah. Of course, Andrew, good water picker. You are a talker, son. You are a talker.
Yeah.
Why didn't he do that when I had him on my reselling live show? Because he didn't talk like that when he was on the show. But no, Andrew's great. We met him and his wife. They came to the bowling, and man, they can bowl.
Yeah, man, they did good.
They weren't bad.
Yep.
That was cool hanging out with them.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, let's I just think, well, do we want to talk about the after party? We're just going to leave that.
Oh, here, I got a reel. I got a reel. Here, let me share this reel. Let's bust it out right now.
I'm scared.
Ben's gonna
Maybe you
have to
should
edit this
be.
part.
Oh,
I just got a return, but buyer's paying shipping, so that's cool.
all right, here we go.
Oh Lord, look at that!
Real pictures here. Ben's right on his way out. He just ran in. Finally, we've been waiting on you.
Waiting on a woman. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yes. I got this on video too.
Get out of my room.
Hello, everybody.
Look.
I just want you to know all these people are crazy. I'm not crazy. They are.
We are walking the line, people.
Why are you doing all of this on me?
Shit. This is not even my camera. They handed it to me, and I'm just walking around. Collaborate and listen. I be back with a brand new invention. Something.
Talking about cottage cheese. Well, I'm sorry the internet was cutting out, guys. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but you guys missed some of the best parts. So I'll probably put that as the members backstage so y'all can see it again.
Yeah, do that.
Just for Ben. Ben, honestly, I had the best footage of you, man. I mean, you were like the highlights of my footage, so I had to put something together, brother.
Oh man, thank you, bro.
You missed the best part was cutting out, so definitely got to watch it on the members.
Yeah, yeah, trust me, I will. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm glad you got
That was such a great time. I had to include those times, dude, because that was so much fun, bro.
All right, so Chris's video says everything you need to know about the after parties at the locker room. You don't want to miss it next year. I don't think we need to cover any more, do we, gentlemen? I didn't think so. All right, let's move on to Find of the Week. We're going to do our find of the Highway 127, what our best find was from being down in Crossville. Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
All right.
Let me get it right here.
If his internet wants to work.
All right, here we go.
What was that? My internet's usually pretty solid. I guess not when I share videos, though. All right. So this is a nitro engine used for RC cars, RC planes, all that good stuff. Basically, I bought like 12 of these things for $220. There was 6 large ones, 6 small ones. This is one of the large ones that I bought. And yeah, man, it's a 2-stroke airplane. I've never even seen these in 2-stroke or 4-stroke form. I always see the 2-stroke. 4-stroke, never seen those. But long story short, paid 36. It brought 180 plus ship. So I walked away with 154.
That's killer.
That was good. That was my find of the week, was those nitro motors, and then my sale of the week. So
yeah, that's cool, man, because one of them almost paid for the lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got 150 out of that one after it's all said and done, and you paid 220 total. Dude, that's killer. One more and you're in the profit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got them all listed. So they'll bring some money.
Alex.
All right. We're doing the find at the 127.
Yeah.
So this was the Alice in Wonderland book. When we first found this book, I scanned it for Amazon, and the buy box was $400. Right now it's down to $251, but those are FBM, so fulfilled by merchant. So I can probably get the FBA bump maybe to $400 if I were to send it in. If not, if anything, the sold comps are still around $200 on eBay. So
still a great find, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the market and then decide where I'm gonna list it at too.
I'm
What
telling you guys, if you are into video games, that is the most beautiful game ever made. It's my favorite video game of all time. I'm not a gamer, don't get me wrong. So I'm sure there's games out there that people would consider even more beautiful than this one, but the gameplay, the graphics, everything on that game is amazing. It's Alice Madness Returns.
So is that a strategy book or is that Alice in Wonder? I thought it was
Just
Alice in
artwork.
Wonderland for some reason. I don't know why I thought that.
Well,
It's
it's an Alice in Wonderland themed game.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a strategy guide or
It's artwork from the game.
got
You
it.
could
Got
see
it.
some of the crazy artwork in here.
Hold on a
Holy
minute. Wait a minute. Let me get you up here. Look at that.
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So what was the breakdown? What'd you end up paying for that one book, you think?
$1.91. So that big buyout that I did, I was $1.91 when I broke it
Oh.
down. Per
Darn, it's only
book.
worth $2.51 now.
Yeah, probably
Let's
not even going
talk
to sell
about
it. It's kind of worthless now. Yes.
Let's talk about that yard sale where all of us scored big, and that'll lead us into Shane's find. That one garage sale, son.
It
That was
the best, best garage sale I've ever been to.
Yeah, the best.
So-
This is. What was that? Go ahead.
I mean, it's pretty simple. We all pull up, we all park. We're chasing signs at this point. This was Thursday, and we're all chasing signs. We're all kind of picking together for the first time, right? Because the tent cities, everybody was kind of split up and running around in smaller groups and stuff. But this particular day, we were all picking together, and we walk up to this sale, and immediately everybody sees video game stuff. I walk around to the back corner. I see a stack of 5 records and a deck of cards. The Snatch movie. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Love that movie. But it was a sealed deck of cards. I saw the records. I picked them up. There was 2 Tool albums. That right there, I knew I wanted to buy the records. I didn't even need to see what else was under those Tool records. I said, "How much do you want for all the records?" The lady said, $40. Sold. Done deal. I said, "Will you throw the deck of cards in too?" She's like, "Yeah, you can have them." So I got those listed for $10. Even if they don't sell, cool. I'll keep them. I love the movie and I play cards. So, anyways, I know I got a great deal, $40. One of the Tool records is going to pay for that, guaranteed. I knew one of those records though was going to be really good, or it was going to be freaking phenomenal. So I was more than happy to pay $40. And as these guys are doing their thing, going through all the video game stuff, I just kind of trip over and look down at this like Rubbermaid tote or whatever full of books. And they're all game related books and things like that. And, had I been by myself, I'd have been all over this deal. But my good friend Alex is a full-time reseller. I'm not. I don't need the extra money. I hollered at Alex. I'm like, "Dude, you need to get over here." Come over here.
I appreciate
that. We weren't the only ones at this sale, right? There were other people there. So I'm like, "Alex, come here." And I told him, I said, "You need to make a bulk deal with this lady." So he's working his magic, and then we find there's more books, and so he's working his magic on the books. I've already done my deal. I just got the records, and Ben, I don't even know what you found.
You got that Tool album with you?
I do.
Let's show that first before we get off to that.
What's funny is when we pulled up to that sale, real quick, we pulled up to that sale, I was with Jason, and this dude was coming out of that sale with a tote full of PS4 games, and me and Jason were like, "Holy crap!" So go ahead, Shane. Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
No, you're good. Yeah, I heard somebody say that dude just walked away with a tote full of video games, and my first thought was, "Crap, there's gonna be nothing left for us here." Because I heard that. So much to my surprise, this is one of the records. This is the one I was most excited about. I knew if it was a first pressing, it was going to be really good money. But even if it was one of the reissues, it was still going to be at least $100 album. Alex and I, we get back to the house that evening. I pull the record out, and him and I do some research on it and match every single digit of all the correct numbers to prove that this is a first pressing. We look on eBay, the last sold comp for this record sold for $2,000 on auction. Granted, that one had the original shrink wrap. It was not sealed, but it had the original shrink wrap. So that makes it worth more than this one. But this should, you know, still, if I hold out and wait for a buy it now, it should bring about $1,500 at least. I have $8 into this, guys. I currently have it up for auction, and I had it up for auction for $800 starting bid, and I had tons of watchers, but it ended up not selling. So I lowered the bid, starting bid to $200. We still got like 6 days left on the auction, but it's up to $310 so far. So fingers crossed. I'm making money regardless, but obviously I want to get as much out of it as possible. But it's up to the bidders now, so we'll just have to wait and see. Plus, one of the albums was a sealed copy of Weird Al Yankovic, UHF or whatever that movie was he did.
That's right.
It was the soundtrack for that, sealed. It's about $100 record. Jason Luck offered me $40 for it. No brainer. That pays for my whole purchase. Sold that record to him. He's going to keep it for his collection, but if he ever decides to sell it, there's money for him to make as well. So it worked out for everybody. Basically everything I sell now is profit out of that buy.
I walked out of that garage sale with several video game console accessories like steering wheel, all of it still in the box. Box is in great shape. Then I got the Xbox Complete Series set of all the video games having anything to do with The Walking Dead. All the volumes are in that box. There's like 10 or 12 Walking Dead games, but it's sold as a complete box set. Money, money, money. So yeah, we all killed it there. And man, I'm so glad we stopped at that, because after that pick, and we talked about this even that same night and the day after, you can't beat it. What we got that in that sale, we couldn't beat the next day or the next day after that. Right.
Yeah, I scored a bunch of video game stuff from that from that sale. What I have right here is this PS Vita. Honestly, I'm a PlayStation guy. I've never even seen a PS Vita, honestly. And I got this, like some Xbox 360. I got a Street Fighter 25th Anniversary Edition set, BioShock 2 box set, and both of those things were like open box status. Like nothing was opened inside of it. But yeah, hell of a sale. I just wonder what the hell that dude got that was in front of us.
Oh yeah,
that was my best purchase ever. Was at that sale.
Can you imagine how much rolling up on that by yourself? You know, I mean.
Well,
yeah. The one challenge for that sale, though, we got to bring up was the dude making the decisions wasn't there, dude. So
right.
Yeah.
The chick was on the phone with her husband or who the hell ever, and it was a back and forth. It was a cluster F, is what it was.
That's exactly what I thought. That's what I was about to say. Is I was the only one who made a deal without that man being involved. So
yeah,
I made I made my deal first because I knew I'm not a video game guy. I don't know enough about them to make big buys like that. I knew those books were going to be good, but I wanted Alex to get those, so I didn't even try. I got the records and got the heck out of there. But obviously, I stayed around, filmed, and watched you guys work your magic with this lady and her husband. And it turns out none of the stuff they were selling belonged to that dude. It was one of the ladies' brothers or something passed away, and it was all his stuff. But this guy, I'm assuming, had more knowledge than the ladies did, so they were kind of dependent on him. And I was like, nobody's making any deals. I got my deal, without him being involved. But I was like, these guys aren't going to be able to make the deal. This is ridiculous. This dude's not even here. And, when I put my footage out, you guys will see it. She's got him on speakerphone dealing with Chris. And Chris is like, hey, do you want to make the deal or not? And I'm like, yeah, dude, make the deal. We're all spending a ton of money here. Make the deal.
Did you get footage of that?
Yeah, you do have footage. I was going to say none of us recorded.
No.
I was saying none of us had a camera. I didn't think.
Yeah, we didn't have our cameras on.
After that, I just stopped taking the camera because I was like, hell, maybe I'll find something good.
That's
But
right.
let me tell
None
you,
of us had cameras.
I was the first one trying to make a deal, and everything I asked, how much is this? How much you want for this? Oh, I don't know. I got to call my husband. I got irritated. I was about ready to just freaking go to the truck. And I was like, don't put your stuff out here if you don't know what you want for it. And then she moved past, forgot about me, moved on to one of you guys and started cutting a deal on the phone with this cat. And finally, when y'all made your deals and we were loading Alex's 6 tubs of books in the vehicle, I got pissed off and thought, you know what? I'm not leaving here. I'm going to make a deal. So I marched my happy ass right back up to that driveway, went back in that garage, and I pulled everything that I wanted to make a deal on. And she was off the phone at this time. He wasn't on the phone. And then there's an old lady sitting in there. It's probably the woman's mother. And I turned to her and I said, look, me and my friends just spent a ton of money with you guys. Here is the stuff I was trying to make a deal on and couldn't get it done. This is what I'll give you, which was like $200 or yeah. And they were like, well, you're right. You all did spend a lot of money. We'll do that deal. And then the wife looked at her mom and says, well, I really should call him. And then the old woman said, no, that's a fair price. Just do it and get rid of it. And I went, here you go. I took it and I went right back to the truck. So that's how mine went down.
When I first started making the deal or trying to make a deal, they only wanted to take $10 off each book. So
that's
off
right.
the cover price. So this would have cost me $25. And I ended up getting every book for $1.91. I was so you guys saw me. I was so excited, and I was nervous that the husband was going to come back and kill his wife and take all my books.
Got the heck out of there.
I was just trying to leave because, I mean, even if I sell every book at $20, it's $3,800.
Well,
profit. So
that guy was on his way to the house, and y'all were trying to get.
Yeah,
we were all helping Alex get loaded, and I was sitting in the truck, and I thought, this dude's going to show up and start raising hell. So I jumped out of the truck, grabbed a tub, and threw it in the back of the truck so we could get out of there before he got there. So
dude, I tried to go back the next day. I couldn't remember where the hell it was.
Remember where it was?
We found it. We were chasing another sign, and then we came back on that from the backside.
Yeah, we just happened, and that's the crazy thing. We just happened upon that sale. We didn't. That wasn't one we were hunting down. We just happened upon it.
We saw.
Alex, I wanted to ask you the Swamp Thing book set. Have you comped that out? Because do you guys have second and Charles stores in your areas?
Is that a used books? What is that?
Used books, CDs. It's used media, but they sell.
We have McKay's, so I could take it to McKay's or store credit if I wanted to, or cash.
So, Second and Charles has a book section that's rare, autographed, that kind of thing, special edition books. That's where they keep all their Easton Press and all that stuff. But they have the full Swamp Thing box set, and I can't remember what they had a price on it for. But I was going to check with you, and if it's worth it, I'm going to go buy it.
I haven't even looked into them yet. They're still sitting on my second floor, so I haven't decided to blow my back out and take them downstairs yet and actually start comping everything out. I'm going to lot them together and put them on eBay. I think that's how I want to do it. Singly, on Amazon, they're not worth me sending in. So,
gotcha.
Yes, at least $100.
It's a cool looking set.
I would want to say at least $100. Close around that range, but
yeah, it's a cool set for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a complete set or how many issues there is of it.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, moving along. We're going to cover the current week, the sale of the week, either from last week or this week currently.
I got to pull mine up. I was not prepared.
I got one. If you want me to do it real quick.
Yeah.
No picture. It's called On This Hill. It's a history of some college. That's all I know, from 1774 to 1994, but it's a signed copy by the two authors of this book, and it's sold. This came out of the Goodwill bin, so maybe $1. It sold for $155.
Nice. Huge margins.
Yeah, that's killer. All right, so I got one real quick. A buddy of mine at the 127 sale picked I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, Poacher KM 51 1/8 scale Ferrari Testarossa engine kit, open box. basically it's a model kit.
Oh, I remember that.
Hey, I
Hey,
picked that.
Chris, you have one of those?
Yeah, Chris
That looks
picked
familiar.
this. Easy Pickens picked this and donated it to the Picking the Plateau auction night that we had.
Yeah.
And I won the stupid auction for $25. I was really hoping, because Chris told me it was probably $100 kit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, cool, I'll try to bid it up. I ended up winning it for $25, which I felt horrible about because I know Chris paid $50 for it.
But he donated it.
Charity, whatever.
Well, he did. He donated. I tried to give the man $25 back. He said, "You know what? Next time, just buy me a beer." But yeah, so I sold it. It sold for on best offer. I had it listed for $125. Sealed ones were going for around $160. This one was an open box. So I listed it for $125. Took a best offer for $117 plus shipping.
Killer.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Man. Anything Ferrari, dude. It most likely will bring some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. You picked a good one.
All right, let me get mine real quick. Now, this didn't come from the Highway 127. I did a bulk buy before the Friday. I left town on Monday for the 127. This was on a Friday afternoon. Friend of mine used to sell on eBay, and they were getting divorced, and she had a basement, literally. I mean, you know how eBay sellers are. Tubs of stuff on shelves everywhere. It's crazy. So I spent 2 hours combing through everything. Done a big pile. I didn't have to explain what I do and why I need it cheap because they were eBayers. Did they understand? I said,
Yeah.
You know the deal. So I ended up walking out of there, spending $100 on probably 6 tubs with stuff. And this was one thing out of one of the tubs. Let me, there we go. It's a Canon EOS 55. It's so small, I can't read it. Anyway, can y'all read what it is?
I can read the price.
FOS 55 DT digital camera.
So, when you do a bulk buy, you have to take what I do when I do a bulk buy. I take inventory when I get back home. I count how many pieces is in that buy. Then you divide it up by how much you spent and you get your cost per item, right? So I'm probably close to $4.
That's awesome.
Maybe a little bit less on each item. So that's what I was on this camera. And it just sold a couple of days ago after fees, taxes, all that, $112. Made my money back, already in the profit, and I haven't even sold anything else yet out of that bulk lot yet.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's mine.
That's awesome.
Did I space out and miss your find of the week, Ben?
Oh, that's right, Alex. You're correct, man.
So we were just talking about this sale, and it apparently was someone that passed away. So don't you have them?
If you've not been privy, ladies and gentlemen, to watching the video short that Chris put out about this, this is, I keep forgetting her name. This is Lillian Louise. Not really. I mean, her name and everything's on the bottom, but I've opened it before we went on the show. There's nothing in it. It's empty.
You just let Lillian's ghost out into your eBay.
You better save that shit.
So this was at one of the tent cities we were at. And I knew what it was immediately when I saw it. It wasn't no friggin' flower vase because flower vases don't have a cap. And she had like $80 on this thing. So I stood there and kept milling around until finally she took $40 for it. Comps are between $80 and $100. And yeah, so this was my find of the 127, not dollar wise, but unique wise. How many can say you bought an urn to resell?
I probably will never say that.
Yeah, Alex definitely has the most morbid. Oh, Ghost Alex.
Wow.
Ben has the most morbid purchase of the week.
Yes. You buy these at funeral homes, they're expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
Apparently my internet sucks up.
When you bought that, you thought it was new. Was that the deal?
Yeah, until we got it home, and I didn't even bother to read what it said till we got home. And Chris says, "Look at the bottom of that." And I was like, "Holy crap! It's got her birth date, date of death, and date of carnation. Whatever that is, DOC, cremation, date of cremation, and it's all printed right there." And it freaked me out. But yeah,
it's freaking us out right now.
Oh, come on. Well, anyway, thanks for reminding me about that, Alex. I forgot about that, man. Who's got the comment of the week, gentlemen? Who wants to read the comment of the week real quick?
Chris, you had picked one out, didn't you?
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to cover our members here real quick, Chris, while you're finding it. We want to thank all of our paid members to the locker room, our MVP members, Mike Camparelli. Oh, and by the way, we have to announce, Mike, hope you're watching. Mike Camparelli is such a wonderful gentleman that we had the most best time with him staying with us in the locker room house. Very generous. He brought me a brand new vape, put gas in my truck on the way to the airport to take him back. He is the official ambassador of the Reseller Locker Room podcast, and he is well deserving of that title, right, gentlemen?
That's right.
Man, he's such an awesome
one of the kindest people you ever meet.
Yes.
Yeah, he rode with me from Caleb's house that first night I was there to the Airbnb, and I mean, it was probably like what, a 10-minute trip. But man, we hit it off, dude. It was like we known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
What an awesome dude. Miss you, Mike.
Yep.
We also want to thank Keith from Vintage Sports Flips. I'll be on his show. I think it's next week. I'm going to be a guest on his show. Then Rick and Maryland finishes out our MVPs. We may have a new MVP. I forget his name at the moment. We'll catch him on the next show. Our Skybox members, though, how great are they, guys? They're in at $9.99 a month. They have privy to all the backstage video footage from the 127 that you're not going to see publicly. So if you're not a Skybox member or an MVP member, hit the join link down below. You want to become a paid member, you're missing all kinds of great footage there. We want to thank Wolfman Goodies, Chad. He is our Skybox member, as well as the Trash to Cash boys. Watch Trash to Cash on YouTube. And who else we got? Flipping for Laughs. Good old T-Bone is also a Skybox. Mary McQueen. Hey, you can't beat Mary. She hung out with us about every night partying at the house. And then, of course, Andrew and the Goodwater Pickers. We want to thank our Skybox members for your support to this channel.
Absolutely.
You could see all that footage for free on my new channel called Ben's Gone Wild.
No, I don't think so.
Is that BINS or BEN?
Let me tell you what, that Jefferson dude, he was kind of crazy, man. Jefferson Ben, he was crazy. We got to meet that guy. He hung out with us as well. He has a podcast, believe it or not. It is called, what was it called? Pocket Change. He is the original Pocket Change because Dan ripped that name away and used it, and then Dan dropped the name and changed it. But Jefferson's podcast is a great one. You want to watch Jefferson over there on Pocket Change.
And you can, it's Pocket Change podcast everywhere audibly, but on YouTube, it's on his channel, which is CJ Benz Finds.
CJ Benz Finds. Good point. All right, Chris.
All right. So I got a comment from old T-Bone. Flipping for Laughs. This is on our bowling video. If you haven't seen the bowling video, it went public this morning, so you can check it out if you guys ain't seen it. But here's his comment. He said, I bet Ben was as happy as a puppy with two Peters when he saw the Rocky Top Pro Shop sign. Great video. Thanks for sharing. It looks like y'all had a blast. And we did, man. We really did have a blast. And I'm not, it sounds cliche, but dude, we had such a good freaking time, dude. It was amazing.
Ben was that excited.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He had to get a picture with everyone in front of the sign.
I mean, it
was pretty cool, though. They had some cool signs, man. They had that neon locker room sign, their locker sign, and then they had the Rocky Top. I thought it was sweet, man.
Yeah. Tell me I don't know how to pick a daggone venue, boys. Tell me I don't know how to pick it.
You did a great job on that one, Ben.
Yeah, dude. That was awesome. All right, comment of the week. Thank you all. We appreciate your all's comments. If you've never commented to any of our podcasts, please do, because we all read them, and when yours may be read on the next show. Go drop your comment. Don't forget to hit the like button.
We typically all respond to all the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we have a pitiful sale we want to do, gentlemen?
Oh, I
always have
good
those.
week. I don't know if I had a pitiful.
I didn't look. I'm sure I had.
I mean, I'll give my lowest one regardless, but
all right.
Okay, I had a pitiful one.
Okay.
So pitiful.
It was just a remote. It's a Samsung AA59 remote control for big long numbers unit. I don't know the unit, but I of course looked the model number up and got all the information. But this was back when I first started watching J-Ride and remotes were amazing and all this stuff. So I was picking up good name brand remotes. I wasn't checking comps. I was just like, hey, remotes are like 50 cents at the Goodwill here. So I was like, it's 50 cents. If it says Samsung, Sony, Bose, whatever, I'm just going to pick them up. And this one turned out to be one of the not so good ones. I sold it for $6 plus shipping. And like I said, I got like 50 cents into it. So that's my pitiful sale of the week. Everything else was freaking killer, man. I had a good week.
All right. Chris, you ready?
I think so. All right. So, funny story on this. I bought this actually like a year and a half ago. I bought like 100 video game items for $1,000. Okay. So $10 an item. I think I grossed like over $4,000 on that deal. Okay. But this was a straggler. So this has been sold 2 times. The first 2 times I had this word PAL at the end of the title. And each time somebody bought it, they returned it because they say they didn't realize it was PAL and not, domestic. So PAL is like a European version of the game. It won't play on a systems released here. If you're not familiar with that saying or that acronym, I don't know what it stands for, but that's what it means. So anyway, changed it up, put PAL in front. In December, I guess that's when I relisted it. So it's been sitting around for a while, but it finally sold, and no big deal. I think I made $1.62. Looks like woohoo. Paid 10, sold for 11, or it sold for $14.99. And actually, this was one of my items. I think I was telling Ben about this. So I did a little experiment. I had a bunch of items that were under $10. This happened to be one of them. And I was like, man, I'm going to do a little trickery. I'm going to raise all those items, like 100 items, raise all of them to $19.99. And then put them all on sale for 25% off. So I'm kind of messing with that perceived value thing. And I've sold probably at least 15 of those items in the last, 3 weeks. So it is working. Nice. So if y'all ever thought about anything like that, I think a lot of times people don't want to spend anywhere close to what they're buying the item for on shipping, right? So they're paying $9.99 for an item. They don't want to pay for $6.66 for shipping. I don't know. That's just kind of the way I think people look at stuff sometimes. So did an experiment, and it's kind of working. This was one of those items.
That's good though, man. You got to tinker with things like that sometimes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you got to dicker with it.
You got to dicker with it, boys. All right, I sold a Star Wars jersey. I mean, this was mine actually. I've had it for years and started cleaning out my closet back in the wintertime when I was bored, can't get outside, whatever. Anyway, there it is. It is what it is. Nothing special. All right. Let's see. Is that about covered? Oh, I got to finish telling this story because I told you guys before we hit the record that I had my annual doctor's physical today.
Oh, yeah.
And you ladies, you'd be happy to know that Ben at 51 is fit as a fiddle. And we got on the discussion. He asked me how business was going.
He's redefining the
what kind of business he talk about.
Fit.
Well, he knows that I'm a reseller and I do eBay and all that. And he always talks to me about it when I go see him. And he goes, how's business? And I says, great. And he goes, now, do you make buyers pay the shipping on their items? Because I don't do that. I was going to buy an item off of a guy off of eBay and he wanted $12 shipping. And he goes, I squeeze blood out of pennies. I said, why are you such a tight ass, Doc? You make great money. He goes, that's just the way I am. And I said, don't come to my store. He goes, do you offer free shipping? I said, sometimes, and I go, that's not really free shipping, Doc. You're really paying the shipping. It's just into the asking price. I mean, you're being duped here. He goes, you're kidding. That's how you all do that. I'm like, yeah, you think we're going to give free shipping away? So I taught him something today about reselling. So I thought that was kind of fun.
I was trying to explain that concept to one of my buddies. He's like, I won't even look at anything if it's not free shipping. And I'm like, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard in my life, dude.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
You're paying the shipping. That's that's a psychological thing. All right, gentlemen. We're an hour and 7 minutes in. Do we have a final word about the wrap up of 127 this year?
I don't know, man. It was an epic trip, dude. I will say that.
Yeah.
It was epic. I got so much out of it that I wasn't expecting. I mean, awesomeness.
Okay.
It was literally one of the
I went to the
greatest-
127 and all I got out of it was a speeding ticket.
You sucker.
and $8,000 in books.
Yeah, only.
I mean, legitimately, it was one of the greatest weeks of my life. I had so much fun. Never mind the picking and the killer deals we all got, the camaraderie, the friendships that were made, and the relationships that were built. That was worth every penny I spent to get there. And man, I can't wait to do it again. Honestly,
Well said, Shane.
Yeah, ditto, Shane. I can say the same. My highlight was spending time with you guys because we're together here every week, and we finally got to do it for a week together in person. Yep. And Chris, I'm glad you mentioned what you did a moment ago. I shouted you out in my video about you traveling to this meetup from California, and that it is an expense to come to meetups. I mean, you're going to have travel expenses. It can be expensive, but you get to write that off on your taxes. And when I was talking to my audience on the Rocky Top Picker channel, I told them to ask Chris if you got anything out of it and was it worth the investment because you had airfare plus car rental plus Airbnb. Was it worth it?
100%, man. 100%. And like Shane just said, man, even if I wasn't picking to pay for part of the trip, it was worth it, man. I think I'll be real with you guys. I think I spent $2,300, dude. I mean, that was the freaking total, And who cares at this point? I don't even care about that because I had such a good freaking time. But you can't put a price on it, man. Like Shane said, you can't put a price on it, man.
Facts. Well, gentlemen, it's a different experience doing this show with you guys together. I want to invite you, the audience, make your plans. Some of you have reached out and felt bad that you didn't come. Don't be a losing loser and
a losing loser.
Get to the friggin' meetup next year. We're going to be releasing more details at the first of the year. We're going to be adding some new stuff in if you hang with us. Oh, 2025 is looking bright, guys. We can't wait to see you right back here on the Reseller Locker Room, and we drop every Thursday, 9 a.m. On behalf of Shane, Alex, Chris, myself, we'll see you next time.